Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of The Post. When you have my favorite director, Steven Spielberg, making a film that stars Meryl Streep, my favorite actress, and Tom Hanks, another legend, of course I'm going to be excited. And this movie seemed perfectly cut out for awards season. But is it necessarily deserving of all the awards talk and the nominations it's been receiving? Or is it kind of resting on its laurels? Well, I think it's a pretty darn good movie. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. So let's go ahead and start off with the positives right at the top, and that is Steven Spielberg. I know a lot of people think that Spielberg has grown stale, that he's made good but not really great movies recently. While I don't completely agree with that sentiment, I think that this is going to fall in that same category for a lot of people, but I just think it was so well directed. The thing is, when you add somebody of Steven Spielberg's talent and caliber to a film like this, which very easily could turn into like a stuffy, like staunchy, old, stale type of biopic, you get these amazing shots of the papers rolling out or the presses coming in. You get this super interesting viewpoints from up above as people are making decisions or different camera angles for different occasions. And it is just beautiful to watch the entire film. All of the edits and the transitions make sense. It just is a beautifully directed movie. Then we move on to the acting, and the all-star here is Meryl Streep. She is so good. Another person that people just say, oh, there goes Meryl Streep doing what Meryl Streep does. She's gonna get nominated again. The thing is, she is very good in pretty much every film she does, and she's very good here. Especially now, kind of in her older age. She does play somewhat similar characters quite often. But the key to her greatness is finding the human. And she does it so beautifully well in this film. She has a few key scenes that really bring it to life, but she feels real. I love watching her act because she is always able to find those layers to whatever character it is she's depicting, and she does an amazing job here. And the fact that she was by far the standout to me amongst this really talented cast is saying something. And that's not to say the rest of the cast is not good, because they are all very good. Tom Hanks, wonderful as always. Michael Stuhlbarg, and another Oscar contender. Really, the whole cast brings their A-game. And you know who else brings their A-game? John Williams, because this score is fantastic. Really, I think Spielberg, Streep, and Williams are the three MVPs of this film. They are the standout stars that make The Post work as well as it does. This score sweeps through and transforms as the film transforms so beautifully. It injects so much emotion and passion and movement to a film that, again, could have fallen to a bit of a stale category. So where does The Post misstep? I really think the beginning portions of the film are where it really lags. I think it takes quite some time to get going to a place of interest for the audience. And it's mashing together a couple of different kind of storylines, which I understand take place pretty much at the same time, but it feels a little bit disjointed in that way. We're talking about this woman who now is thrust into running this newspaper, and she's going public with the newspaper. In the meantime, we have these breaking, confidential stories coming out with the New York Times and the Washington Post, trying to figure out how they can stay relevant. And then we go into court proceedings, and we go into the Post deciding whether they can or can't run the stories. And then you have that court storyline going, as well as having Meryl Streep's character evolving as a person and as a leader. And I think by having all of this moving at such a rapid pace, this is a pretty quickly paced film. For a good portion of the movie, the heavy subject matter didn't line up with the stakes, because it didn't seem like very high stakes. I will say the third act is thrilling. It is a wonderfully constructed last act to the film where we do feel the stakes, where we are excited, when we are completely engrossed in this drama. But those first two, you're just kind of like, okay, what is at stake here? I don't know. And the same goes with Meryl Streep's character in general. I think it literally takes a speech from Sarah Paulson's character to fully understand the gravitas there as well. So we get all the big speeches in that third act. We get the big speech telling us why this all matters and why Meryl Streep's character is such an important person and player and why she's considered so brave in the situation. Because this story does kind of like center her in this ambiguous place for so long. And then Meryl's character gives a couple of speeches that define her character as well. Then we get over to like freedom of press. And again, it's little sprinkles here and there throughout the first two acts. And finally, they start hitting home in that third act about this is important. This needs to happen. We need to protect the press. So overall, I think The Post is a very good film. It is a really interesting story and one that is obviously very relevant to what we're seeing with our current government and our current press situation in a constant like tug of war and battle when it comes to freedom and being able to relay information. Is it true? Is it false? Should they be able to print these things? Should they not be able to print these things? Should the government have any say when it comes to press? All happening in real time before our eyes. So it was very interesting to watch it unfolding way back in Nixon's era. Plus the performances are all great. Spielberg, wonderful job, and that score is fantastic. So I think if you are into history, if you are into these biopic type dramas, real true events, you're going to have a really good time with The Post. And it's well made enough that I think you'll really appreciate it. So I think it deserves a full price ticket. So that is my review of The Post. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see The Post? Or have you already seen it? If you have, what did you think? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!